Alright, just put a few minutes getting the seat mounted up on here. So, just only had reupholstered. Got it done in leather, so it looks real nice. He's sliding off it. When you're on top of leather, it's real slippery. You're on top of leather, it bites in, especially if you got leather pants. They stick real good to each other. So, this here have a hinge mechanism right there. So I took the seat off, got it up and put the hinge in where it belonged. I put light tension on these bolts right here so it would still move a little bit. Drop it down, push it down, go like that, wiggle it in, get it where it's sitting really nice and good. Then you put light tension in the bolts, but not much, and drop it down. Bounce it in real nice, make sure it's good. Then you tighten the bolts down real good, and then make sure your seat drops into where it belongs. See, it kind of pops in. See right there. You hear it kind of popping in. So even though I don't have the locking mechanism, this here seat right up here, the way it's made goes around the frame, it tucks in real good. She drops in nice and firm, so it doesn't wiggle wobble go anywhere. So we need to just make a strap up like we did on the other FXR. This doesn't have the battery retention piece that it came from, so I'll have to go down here and zip tie around something down here. Run a strap up to the bolt up here so the seat will stay right here. You don't want to break off this mechanism right here. This will pull right off the frame if you just let the seat hang like this. So, and I imagine that mechanism right there is probably about 500 bucks these days. So there you go. Make sure it fits good and tight and you're good. Alright, this thing's ready to light off. So, fuel's on right now. It's been on, I guess, for a while. I lowered the bike down a little bit so I can reach the damn throttle. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the idle speed set where it'll run, and then we'll start screwing the idle mixture until it runs best. So basically what I do is I screw this in like this until it starts to die, and once it starts to die you back off real quick so it doesn't die. Then you unscrew it until the maximum RPM. Then you go back and lower the idle speed down until it comes down to a good idle. Then you come back and do that again. You go same thing, go down until it dies, you come back to a fine's good. Now there might be a sweet spot maybe like this wide. You put it right in the middle. It's a good place to be. If you want a little more mileage, you go leaner. You want a little bit more power, you go richer. That's how you adjust them. And the choke, turn that thing off as soon as you can. Alright, let's see what happens. Haven't run it yet. We're also going to do a little bit of high gear burnout with a brake on. We got to get the pads burned in too, so you got rear brakes at least. So I'll put up in I'll be up in second gear and just rev it up a little bit with the brake on. Put a little load on the motor and see how it carburetes. And we're inside a closed building, so it should be just fine for fumes. I don't see any problem at all with that. So we'll see how that works. Alright. See if the starter works. It doesn't work for shit. How do we fix that part? Oh, hey dumbass, turn the ignition switch on. Battery works. Starter not so much. fumigated in here. Alright, well I definitely loaded the motor down heavy with the brake on, as you can tell. That was full throttle in second gear, heavily loaded. So the carburetor seems to be alright. It definitely had to get the RPM up in the mid-range, and once I did that it drives through the brake. But oh, that rubber's not holding. Appears we have an equipment failure here, boss. That is not holding correctly. Have to see what's going on with that one. Alright, one more thing to play with. The rear brake is definitely hot. Definitely got it warm. She's blue. It's warm. Yeah, pads are working. Yeah, I don't know if that was blue before, but it's blue now. It got hot. That's a long downhill we were on. Heavy braking downhill. Yeah. Yeah, it seems to run pretty good. Idle's good. I had adjusted just about where I wanted to be when I started, so pretty close. So there you go. It runs pretty strong. So everything should be good. It's got a little minor stuff to fix like this. But before you can ride, I got to fix the handlebars. Right now they move. See, you want bars to move when you're riding a bike. So this has to be taken off and ground through here until we get a gap, so we can torque these down. So that'll be something to do later, not to right now. All right, well, there you go. I'll let this cool off, and then we'll come back tomorrow and play with it some more. I think I'm going to check this out. I'll look at this right now and see what's going on. Fumes aren't too thick in here right this minute, but they are thick. Maybe I'll open the front door up. Some air in this place. All right, that's it for tonight. At least that I'm going to film.